Welcome back to Old Guy REI. Recently, I've been having these thoughts about a lot of the people that I've met in this community that sometimes get overlooked. And I just thought I wanted to start a series of interviews, basically introducing some of these people and getting some exposure out there for them because they're doing a lot of great things. They have a lot of great information, and I think it would be valuable. So today, I'm thrilled to have Val Fears with me. He's affectionately known in the group as Big Val. So, Val, I appreciate you taking some time to chat with me and hopefully get your story out there and get some people familiar with you and what you're doing.
Yeah,
And
absolutely. Hey, appreciate you having me on. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
yeah, of course. So, maybe just a little bit of your background. I think you're a truck driver for a living, right? And
Yeah.
where are you and where do you invest?
All right. I'm in I actually live in Yadkinville, but everybody knows like Winston-Salem, Wake Forest area, Wake Forest University, that Winston-Salem. So I invest here also. So I got two two properties. I got two properties and the outskirts of Winston, was area called Walnut Cove. So I got two properties there. Me and my dad and my brother, we have a joint venture. We also have a property out there. And then I got a property in Greensboro. That's still tied up. So
Great. I heard you talking the other day about the deal that you're in with your dad and your brother. How is that going for you guys? I hear a lot of times, maybe you shouldn't invest with family. Hopefully, it's going well for you.
I wish I could have a different story. I'm not saying it's bad, but my parents, they're older. I think it's something my dad really wanted to do. My brother kind of kick started it. And so, it was kind of one of those deals for me. It's kind of like, hey man, I can kind of get in scot free to just test the waters to see if I'm any good at this. And so dad took the opportunity. Dad put the money up. My brother, he got everything rolling. Then so I just kind of took it from there. And it's been good. It's been good. Now, so pretty much now my brother, he doesn't do anything, because I think he was just wanting the money aspect of it. But I think that's what people, I think that's a lot of it. People just feel like, oh, you're going to get cash flow and we can, you get $1,000 and, dad gets 350, you get 350 or whatever, $1,000. My math is off, but you understand. Everybody just feels like it's a cash game and everybody's going to just, get money at the end of the month. And it's like, nah, don't work like that. So I feel like once that was realized, then it was just like, I don't want nothing else to do with it.
Yeah. So how long ago did you start with that deal? Was that your first deal, and how long ago was that?
That was about 3 years ago, and I can say yes because I pretty much orchestrated everything with that deal. Just picking out the products and hey, let's do this, let's do that. And this was just still for me watching videos while I'm riding in the truck. And so this is why I appreciate you actually going to the Home Depot. And I'm just the type. I love the materials. I love to see what everybody else is using because I know if I can use the same products that you're using, you do this every day. So I appreciate you, but I love to see that aspect of it because I feel like, you can go in the Home Depot and you have no idea on what you're picking up. And the first thing people want to go do is pick up the cheapest thing and, hey, I'm going to make this work. But man, when you start dealing with tenants, you need something that's solid and pretty much bulletproof that they're not going to tear up in 10 minutes.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly right. The video you're talking about was the one I was talking about, mini blinds, and
Yes,
the
yes.
job. Yeah, the job we just finished. My customer there. I live in California, and the couple that we're working with has a townhome near me, and they actually got jobs in Sacramento, or excuse me, San Francisco, which is about an hour and a half away, and
Hmm.
they're going to turn their townhouse into a rental while they're up there, and they're thinking they'll be gone for about 5 years with these jobs.
Right.
So they had those mini blinds, and I just get to thinking, you know, sometimes people just walk in and grab the box and don't realize that the shades are a certain size or whatever it might be. And then, like I said in the video, sometimes they all come a certain length. So sometimes they'll be a foot too long for your window, and
Yeah.
there's instructions in there to cut them and shorten them, but you got to be careful.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even still with that, we bought. I mean, hindsight, like I said, my dad did all. He put all the money up, and like I said, I just kind of orchestrated. But that first property, we put, we got floors from, I heard the LVPs, but we picked up floors from Ollie's. Picked up floors from Ollie's. We got some cheap blind. We got the little cheap flimsy blinds, and so every time I ride out there, all the blinds are broken on that side. I think she's replaced those blinds like 3 different times. But see, those blinds that you were advertising or showing, I think that would be ideal. So, everybody's not looking out the window and then they break. And so it's just stuff like that that it gives people an idea to say, hey, maybe go with that one, especially if you're going to do tenants, because hey, if everybody's constantly looking out the window to see what's going on or whatever the case may be. So yeah, things will last a little bit longer, versus the cheap flimsy stuff. So yeah, it definitely makes a difference on what people are actually putting in and using on a day-to-day basis. So
Yeah, that's great. I'm going to try to do more of that in the future. YouTube is new to me. It's been about a year that we've had the channel, but back then Zuber and Dion were encouraging people to start a channel,
yeah,
just really just for fun. But we started ours to document the whole process. As you know, or maybe you don't know, but my wife and I, we tried investing in about 2005 to 2007 here in California. We acquired 2 properties in Sacramento and just jumped into it without knowing anything and got bad loans. We were able to hang on to those for about a year, and we lost them. And then after that, we went through bankruptcy and stuff back in 2010. So this is our second try at investing in real estate, and we started buying again in 2021. So I think we're still rookies at it, but through all of this, we've been exposed to people who've been doing it a lot longer and made mistakes too that they can help share those mistakes. That's one comment you made a while back because on our Wednesday accountability calls, everybody shares the good and the bad,
yes,
and I think the bad is I think it's sometimes more important than the good, and the fact that, like you were saying earlier, people don't mind sharing it, and they don't mind helping other people. And you also mentioned sometimes when you get into groups like these, people don't really want to share too much because they're afraid someone is going to move into their territory and buy up all the properties.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yep, and like you said, hey, you can't buy them all. If that was the case, you'd have been done about them all, or somebody else would have bought them all. It wouldn't be nothing for the rest of us to do. So it's like, just that's why I definitely appreciate the group that we're in, and definitely the people, man. And that's like anything else. It's the people, it's the community, it's the people that put in the work day in and day out. You, firefighter, you know Dion, all the guys. I mean, it's a really good group, and I really appreciate it because, like you said, you just pick up so much knowledge.
Yeah, one of the challenges that even Dion and I talked about recently was sharing the bad side. Hopefully you don't scare somebody away because they're hearing all the bad stuff. But once you get in, you do hear and understand that it can work. I was going to ask what your plan is. Are you hoping to pick up enough rentals to retire, or how are you approaching it?
Yeah, I listened to Dion and Zuber. Try to get four. Try to get four. See how that goes. And then maybe then push to 10. Like I said, I drive. I don't. I have a really pretty cool job, so I'm that one. I'm not really like just wanting to retire, but hey, if I can slack up really well and just take a really short run, just to kind of keep the insurance going and just to give me something to do, besides working on my rentals, then yeah, that's pretty much will be something that I'm looking for. I'm really just to ramp up, like you said, just to see what I can do. And I feel like it's just more of a challenge, and I feel like it's everybody's every it's I guess, what is going to be your level? You know what I mean? Like you said, I mean, some may just want a couple, some may be looking for retirement. Yeah, the retirement deal is cool, but I'm that type of person. If I'm gonna have me something to do, because if not, I'll keep on and keep it on. Because I
Right.
mean now is pretty fun. I really enjoy, looking for properties and trying to run the numbers and just seeing and so it's a whole lot that does go through your head for sure. Oh,
Yeah. I think for me too, I've been a contractor for, I'm going on 35 years now, and I really love the work.
yeah,
But, I can't, I guess I don't want to be doing the heavy stuff anymore, the heavy lifting. So if I could taper off and be a little bit pickier about the jobs I take,
right,
I
right,
love to paint. Painting's pretty easy. I think I could do
yeah,
that for many more years.
yeah,
But tile work, because I've always done all my own work.
yeah.
Um, so that's being a little bit, it's not as easy as it used to be. Um, eh, Remind me, when did you say you started? When did you buy that first property with your?
Oh, we get me to. I should have went back. I'm not that great with dates. I'm. You know what? It's gonna be. It'll be 4 years here come the springtime. I think it'll be 4 years. It'll be 4 years for that first one. Yeah, yeah, it'll be
That's
4 years. Yeah,
yeah,
she's been in there. She's a Section 8 tenant. She's been in there. She's been in there 3 years now. But like I said, come spring, it'll be it'll be four. Yeah.
and how recently did you buy the second one?
Second one, okay, so that would have been my first one. That would have been
No,
my first one. The second one, which that's fine. No, that's fine. My first one, it was a house right around the corner. It was a foreclosure, and so I just got to digging into it, looking, digging. Long story short, I had a buddy. My brother had told me about a guy he was working with, and come to find out, me and him worked together years ago at Pizza Hut and he's like, man, this guy here, he's killing it. They flipping him and his wife. They down in Charlotte. They here. They there. And I was like, give me his number. So we got to talking. So I kind of just, you know, and I feel it's like, when you first getting in, you're super, you don't want to you don't want to put yourself in a bad position. And so I was just very, hey man, look at this. Hey, look at that. Check this out. Do you think this will work? Just trying to build that confidence because you are going into something totally new. And so he looked at the deal. He's like, man, I think it's good. And then he just like, hey, I'll give you the money. And I'm like, what? And so I heard about the private money, but didn't really know and so man, I got to really, so that really got me going, and so I started pursuing it, going to the courthouse, making phone calls. Wasn't a lot of traction on it, and then so we had went to Tampa. My daughter had a basketball tournament. So we went to Tampa. We were in Tampa, and it was back and forth. I think I put a bid on it. Somebody upset the bid. I'm calling back every 9 days. Hey, how's it? What's going on? Did anybody upbid me? And so I think we were in Tampa. It was we was there watching the Georgia national game, and I think it was on a Wednesday. So on a Wednesday, I got the call and I won the bid. And so it was just like, and so once I got that deal, and I mean, it was just, it was changing, it changed, a whole lot of stuff. So it was good. And so got in, rehabbed it, did the cash out refi, he walked me through everything, got a tenant in there. That's why I called Stacy's house. Stacy, she's still there. She'll be there. What? She'll be there three. This will be her. third. She'll be there come May. No, Memorial Day. Memorial Day. I think it'll be her third year. So I mean, it's been cool. It's been cool. So I definitely enjoyed it.
When you closed on that property or when it became yours, did everything go as you expected as far as uh,
I'll say that's the part that actually kind of got me. It did. Everything went so smooth. And I think that's what kind of gets you kind of like, oh man, like, everybody makes this like, oh man, this is hard, but everything went so smooth. And I don't know if I was just dialed in, focused, talking to the right people or what. Everything went accordingly. And then so now he's like, man, I can do this again. So yeah, so you definitely get it. And I have that type of personality too. Like, at work pretty good. That was fun. I enjoyed it. Oh man, I can, hey man, let's put this thing in ninth gear and let's go get it.
yeah, I think I've heard some of our friends or other investors say, they that's one of the worst things you could hope for is to get the perfect deal the first time because then when the second deal comes, you get shocked into reality,
Yeah,
that they're not all perfect. But I'm
yeah,
glad it went great for you.
yeah.
I think somewhere out there over the internet, I heard I was thinking about mentorships. Do you belong to any mentorship groups?
No, no, I do not. No, I do not. I don't. I don't. I just, like I said, by me riding so much. Like I said, I drive back and forth from Greensboro to Brooklyn or Jersey. I generally run around. We bid every, once every year we bid, and so me making those trips, I mean, I just lock in. YouTube after YouTube after YouTube, and so I'm just like no, so I know I never did. So I just consume a whole lot of YouTube. So
Yeah, that's been helpful too, and that was really what helped us get started again because we found, I found Bigger Pockets and some
yeah,
interviews on there kind of exposed us to Michael Zuber, and then from then on it was we were off to the races, with Dion and Matt and Millennial Mike and all the people.
yeah,
Um, we got to, and I know you haven't had the opportunity yet, but we did get the chance to go to the first ORAD event in Vegas, and just meeting everybody that we're on every week with on Zoom was really special
yeah.
to meet them in person. So hopefully we'll get to go next year. But what is your what is your plan for the near future? Are you looking for deals now, or
Uh, well, hey, Zuber, hey, looking at your buy box, just looking and looking and looking, and just running numbers and seeing if anything works. I do have that other property in Greensboro that I'm kind of in the mix of. So I'm really trying to get that done before I move forward. So once I can get the Greensboro deal done, um, then yeah, I'll definitely be looking forward. So I think that's what's kind of giving me the motivation is just to stay looking and stay prepared. So when this other deal goes through and I can get that turned, then I'll definitely be ready to do more for sure.
okay, great.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, we've had you shared some of your tenant experiences on our Wednesday call in the past. And I was just recently talking about one of the turnkeys that we bought in Illinois that the tenant pulled a gun on the property manager.
Yes, yes, I heard that story. Yes.
Have you had any weird
No,
stories like that?
no, mine's been pretty simple. Like I said, mine's been pretty simple. Those, like I said, my two houses out there that I do have, they're kind of back out there in the woods. So it's pretty. I don't really have any wild stories. Not yet anyway. So I'm pretty sure
Well,
I'll definitely get some. So.
hopefully you won't. Um, I think you said you were married.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes, I am. Yep. 20, 30. We've been together like 30 years. So yeah, I've been married like 20. So yes, sir.
Oh, that's good. That'll be nice
Yep.
For Dion to hear because he doesn't believe in long-term marriages. Um,
I, it's so funny because when I hear him talk about it, And when I hear him talk about it, I was like, oh man, it's like he didn't hit a rough patch. But hey, some it works for, some it don't. It's just like anything else in life.
Yeah. And does your wife, is your wife involved in the investing? Does she care
She
about it or?
she is slowly coming along. My wife is man, she is like when I tell you she is a dream killer, like she is a dream killer. She was one of the ones that's like, you gotta have $1 million to invest, and so I kept pushing. And see, I'm the type of person, I'm like, I don't ask for permission. I ask for forgiveness because that's the relationship that I have. My wife is that person. She'll be mad, but she'll be all right. But with that, yeah, she was just like, you keep talking about it, and she just said, "Hey, whatever you do, don't touch my money." And so I said, okay. So then I think that was the part that really kind of like made me lock in, like, okay, what can I do to not bother my income? So it's like, so I looked into my 401k, the private money, started looking into some business credit cards, and like I said, man, we made it work. So so even still with that, she was just more or less like, I don't care what you do, just don't mess with what we got going on because today Dave Rams, everybody has that lifestyle, and nobody wants to cut anything. I don't think we live lavish or anything. My daughter just went to college, so we don't live lavish or anything like that. But it's just she wants to be able to make sure she take. I mean, she pays all the bills. I don't do anything. So she pays all the bills. She runs the show. I'm just here along for the ride, and try to get a few little perks here and there. But that was one of them. So I, like I said, we went after the deal. We found the deal. We got the funding. Got a tenant. So I think, with me seeing that, me orchestrating the first one, me getting my first one, me getting my second one, and then getting the third one, it's like, okay, I guess he knows what he's doing now. So she's not been as reluctant. She's been pretty much on board. She's just like, hey, let's get this Greensboro deal done. And then also too, I'm starting to surround myself. So it's like I'm in the kitchen, like, we had some bad weather. And so like the last couple Wednesdays I've been able to jump on the meeting. So, I come home, I do my little stuff around the house, and she's like, well, hey, I'm in there watching TV, and I'm like, hey, I got a Zoom, and she's like, what, are you talking to all your little real estate buddies? I said, yep, sure am. And so what that does for me, it lets her know, hey, how serious I am. This is not a joke. This is not for fun. This is something that I'm wanting to do, something that could take her further. But then when she sees you locked in like that, then she has to say, okay, well, he's definitely taking it serious. This is definitely not a game. But and also too, and I don't want to keep dragging this on, but even like what Zuber was saying, it's like you have to remember why you're doing it, but also you got to have that balance, because you don't want to be out here just spending money and you spending money and doing this, and then it's just like, hey, the bank account's getting cut short. About like, because I watched Lumberjacks yesterday while I was going up the road, and talking about his wife and her, clearing out the bank account and that type of deal. See, you know, some people that could be a deal breaker. You know what I mean? Especially if they don't have it to go get it or borrow it from here or get it from there. So it's something definitely that you definitely have to make sure that you lock in and you put yourself in around good people, and just don't over leverage yourself and try to put yourself in a bad position. So hopefully I ain't talking too much. I'm gonna be quiet.
No, no, no. That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned so the second time that I I got involved in real estate was in 2019. I started trying to learn the right way to do it, and I was super excited, and I was um, I was scared, honestly, because I didn't have any retirement savings for myself, and real estate looked like the best way to go about getting it. So I was all in and from then, and I kind of forced that on my wife, and if, well, you'll meet Cynthia someday,
Yeah.
and if you know her, you try to force her to do anything, she digs in her heels and she's not going to do it.
Right.
So, one of these days we'll get her on because I think that's an important thing for people to hear. Because it wasn't, and I'm glad she's on the journey with me because, having to go through bankruptcy once, and she's like, here he goes again.
Yeah.
And hopefully we're not going to have to file bankruptcy again. So I'm super lucky that she's with me on the journey again, and
Yeah.
she's getting into it. She's thinking she might retire this year in a few months actually, and she's going to try to take over some of the management of the portfolio that we have right now. It's not huge or anything, but there's quite a bit to do.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm glad.
Hey, I commend you. I commend you and your story because I'm gonna tell you, mine. Nah, it'd have been a don't even talk to me about real estate. You know what I mean? So that's beautiful that she did. Decide to go back down that path again. So that's definitely encouraging for sure.
Yeah, yeah. And like we said earlier, I mean, we've made a lot of great friends. We don't have, like you said earlier for yourselves, we don't like go on vacations or, you know, we live fairly frugally. And so I'm thinking, uh, like I said, she's ready to retire. I'm 61, so I'm hoping I won't have to work for too many more years. But since we started late, the portfolio needs time to start ramping up, raising rents and appreciation and all that kind of good stuff. Um, but I think we're in a lot better shape with the portfolio than we would have been without. And so I'm looking forward to it to see what comes. We're hoping to pick up a couple more properties in the next couple of years. Right now, we're up to 10 doors. So right now that's, you know, 2,000 to 2,500 a month in cash flow,
Mhm.
which we wouldn't have if we hadn't done it. And it has been a little bit harder investing at a distance, because we're out in the Midwest from
Yeah.
California. So we had a lot to learn, and we'll see how all that goes. But you mentioned your daughter. Do you just have one child?
Yes, sir.
And she's off to college. That's great.
Yes. Yep. She's in Jacksonville. So yeah. So I'll double back and say, yeah, I definitely like going down there to Jacksonville. Carolinas is cool, but I've lived here all my life, so anytime I can get down there to Florida, it's always good stuff. So yeah.
Yeah,
But yeah. Yeah.
that's good. And so you do have a pretty busy schedule driving.
Yeah. See, yeah, it's I have to be there. You know what I mean? So that's the one thing. I have to be in that truck going up and down the road. So so yeah, that is definitely my deal. And so even still, I had to and like I said, I look up to you and some of the others that definitely invest out of state because there's a lot of times I couldn't be there, and so I had to make phone calls, rely on this one. My dad, he gets around pretty good. He's very you know um, dialed in when it's into the properties. He's pretty handy dandy. He can just do about anything. So he'll definitely jump in there and help me out. And just making phone calls, getting the water turned on, getting the electricity turned on. So yeah, so you have to depend on other people because I physically can't be there to make that stuff happen. So that's been challenging as well too. So yeah.
Yeah, well, it's good. It's good to hear that things are going well for you. I think, and there's so many people that will hopefully will come on with me like you did today, and
Yeah.
we'll get to chat about some of their experiences and challenges, which I think are really really helpful. But uh, we won't go on too long today because I know you are you set to drive again later today?
Yes, sir. Yep. I'm getting ready to leave back out here just as soon as we get done. Get
Oh,
ready to
okay,
head back to Jersey. So.
okay. Well, I won't keep you, but
Oh,
definitely,
yeah, we good. We got a few more minutes if you want.
yeah, yeah. Um, we have. I thought there was somebody in the groups that you referred maybe to Dion's channel. maybe I'm thinking of someone else, but
Russ
oh,
was
that's
in
it.
another. Yeah, Rusty was in another group that I was in, and he was in Ohio. He was in the Ohio market because I was looking in the Ohio market, and he was up there. Me and him just got to talking, and one thing led to another, and then I was like, hey man, he called me one night because he works night shift too. Because
Mhm.
like what my shift is like this week I'm daytime. So I'll start at 2 and I'll drive up and then I'll sleep back. And then next week I'll sleep out and then drive back. So we rotate. So Rusty's always on nighttime. So we had topped it up. I was in Jersey one night and he called and we just got to talking. I'm like, man, I'm in this group and man, this Zuber group and man, this is pretty awesome. And you know how you could just throw it out there and people just, oh yeah, yeah, I'll check it out. And so then next thing I know, here I see him over there and I'm like, yeah, so but because like I said, that other group, no, no shade to nobody, but it's like, everybody's working, but then it was like everybody was just, trying to, you know, I ain't gatekeep, I mean, this is all about sharing, this is not like you sharing it with everybody under the sun. Everybody is not gonna do this business, Everybody's not gonna do this business. Nobody, a lot of people don't want the stress and the things that go along with this. And so it's just, everybody's tight lipped and then you're already unsure about what you're doing, and then everybody's tight lipped. So it's like, man, I need some information. I need some people that's putting it out there. And so the one thing I will say with Super, the one thing I'd rather for you to tell me the truth up front so I can kind of understand what's going on. But when he said you're going to get kicked in the teeth that first 5 years, that resonated with me because you don't need people thinking like, oh yeah, this is easy. This is easy. This is easy. It's not easy. uh, you got to put some work in. You got to get them laps in. And when he said that, that's what really resonated with me. And then you just got people just really just being honest and truthful. And what's your story? You was like one of the first stories that I heard. And for you to double back, most people would have dropped out. A lot of people would have ran for the hills and done something different. You know what I mean? But just this Zuber group, man, it's like everybody was just open and honest, and you're gonna get kicked in the teeth. And then so when you hear that, then it makes it okay for you to fail. It makes it okay for you to go through some things. That's what makes you different from everybody else. That's going to keep you grinding. And so long as you can keep grinding, and they say after that 5 years, you're good. Then to turn around and hear Dion say, if you make it to 10 years, that's not that big. If you make it to 10 years, you can retire. So if that's not looking at the light at the end of the tunnel, I don't know what is. So when you get into around people that's talking like that, and I mean, man, it just lifts you up so high to where it's like, man, I'm unstoppable right now. And so, like I said, this is why I appreciate that group, you know? So
Yeah, yeah. It's funny. Uh, that's what I thought I had heard. And Rusty is near me here in California.
yes,
So
yes. Because I seen them in the group the other day. I was about to send a message out. I was about to get jelly. Y'all out there done met up. Y'all doing meetups, and I'm out here on the East Coast, and y'all. But it's good. It's good stuff, So I love it that hey, you bring people in and people are connecting and making things happen, man. That's what it's all about, man.
yeah, exactly. Well, hopefully through all the groups and chats that we're in, I would encourage people, when they like, and when you go onto Dion's or Zubers or whatever, and you say hello, just say where you're from because that's how Rusty and I connected.
Yeah,
I never did it before, but I just said good morning from Watsonville, California. And they're
yeah,
like, there was two guys in there said, hey, I live in Watsonville or I live near Watsonville. So Rusty and I did get to have coffee one day and there's another guy in there. His name's Salvador, and we had breakfast one morning. So you'll be able to find some people in your area pretty soon, I think, if
yeah,
we just keep doing that. So
yeah,
that's awesome.
yeah,
I,
yeah.
I
Yeah.
yeah, I love your energy. I really do, and
Hey
I
man,
hope.
I'm trying to keep it going. I am. I'm trying to keep it going. That's why I like the firefighter. He's got some super energy too. So some days I'm definitely trying to match his energy. So
Yeah, yeah, he's definitely the troublemaker of the group, but we love him too.
yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
it's been years since I reached out to him when he first started his channel. I just took a chance and reached out, and we talked on the phone for quite a while, and since then, we've been friends since then. So, um, like I said, hopefully we'll get to meet you in person next year at Zuber's. If not,
Absolutely.
some other people are talking about different meetups throughout the year. So
Yeah.
we'll see if we jump
I,
on a plane.
yeah, I think firefighter was saying something about they were trying to maybe get some people to come to Pennsylvania, which, hey, I could drive up there. It's not a big deal. So yeah. Like I say, I'm down here in the Carolina, so North Carolina, so it wouldn't be, that big of a deal for sure. But yeah, yeah, if they did do something up that way, I'd definitely be on board to make that happen. But yeah, yeah, like I said, I'm definitely pushing it out there to, like I said, make that Vegas. I told my wife, I said, all my real estate guys, they talking junk to me because I didn't make it. So kind of put that pressure out there. Go ahead and just say, set the atmosphere, put it in the atmosphere now. So yeah.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
Yep.
If you need us to send her messages, we can do that too.
I know, right? For sure.
Yeah, that's
Yep.
great.
Yep.
So when you do start driving today, how long of a trip do you have to where
It's
you
it's 9 hours. It's nine
go?
hours now. Yeah, we'll be at the yard about 3. Yeah, we'll be off the yard there about 3, and then I'll just mosey on up. Yeah, DC, Baltimore, that deal, and yeah, we'll get on up there and flip it around and come on back, get ready for tomorrow.
Oh yeah, yeah. There you go. That's where Chester's at too.
Yep,
And,
yep, yeah, yeah,
it's-
yeah. See, then like I said, I done already told everybody. See, tonight after tonight at 9 o'clock. I got another Zoom meeting tonight. So hey, looking forward to that tonight as well too. So yeah,
oh great. Yeah, we'll look
yeah,
forward to seeing you there. And I appreciate you
absolutely.
coming whenever you can. I know it's
Yeah,
not easy every week, and
yeah.
especially for a lot of people on the East Coast. They're up late with us. And we go on for hours and hours.
Yes,
So
yes. Well, like I said, it helps me out because I'm just riding. Because like I said, we ain't doing nothing but doing a bunch of trucker talk anyway. So they ain't talking about nothing. So yeah.
and the person that you drive with, has any of this rubbed off on them?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. He hears. Yeah. We have conversations all the time. So yeah, he's a big supporter too. He's a big supporter too. Yeah,
Right.
because it's been a lot of stuff that I'm trying to do for the truck, and I'm trying to do this to coordinate this, and so it's like if I don't work, he doesn't work. But then he's like, man, it's just some stuff you're gonna have to get off the truck and do. And so that was just super encouraging because I'm trying to run everything from the truck and you just can't do it. And so some days I have to take off. Some days, hey, I'm gonna be late, to take care of some stuff that I got going on. But he's been super supportive. So that's always good when you got somebody that's seeing what you're doing, grinding it out. He see me all on my podcast, watching videos. So yeah, so that's definitely a good deal. Having a good partner like that is working with you as well too. So yeah,
Yeah, that's great.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah, we hear a lot of people, like you said, they'll say they're interested or things like that, but then it fizzes out pretty quick.
yeah,
Even for us too. I'm glad there's a bunch of people around here that are trying to get the meetup going together
yeah,
to meet, and they're still an hour or two away from each other, but hopefully that'll work out,
yeah,
because
yeah.
it's just to keep that just to keep the energy going, like you said.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You have to. So
Yeah, it's great, and it's really nice, like you said, with your driver, with your friend. One of these days he's going to come asking questions, and that's when it gets real fun, because then they really are getting interested.
yeah, actually, he see, I'm like 40 minutes from Greensboro, where I actually live, and so that last property, well, the second property I bought, uh, the second property I bought, the wholesaler called me, and I'm like, man, I said, hey, this area? And so he was like, yeah, I live out here. And I'm like, man, go ride by the house for me. So I said, take a video, ride down the street, you know, take a video for me. And so yeah, he did it. He did it
Oh,
for me.
good.
So he knows, and so I ended up buying the house, but that's the one that I'm going through all the difficult with. But he, he was the one that rode by the house for me to actually take the first look at it. So yeah, it is, and then like I said, when people know that you're doing what you're doing and they understand what you're doing, they don't mind helping you out. You just have to ask.
Yeah, you I've been surprised too. I just got some information this morning about a deal because, we've talked about moving up to Washington and stuff, and some of our friends up there are sending me things to look at too. So it's been a huge help. Everybody's just willing to help.
Yeah, yeah, and like I said, you don't, and you're not gonna get that from everybody. You're not gonna get that from everybody. So so that's is why I cherish this group. This is why I cherish, the people that's, you know, that we're familiar with, because everybody's always willing to help at any given time. Even yourself. I called you and you was like, "Hey, call me anytime." And so that's my thing. I don't like to bother, try not to bother people, especially with people and stuff. Anyway, but you was just saying, "Hey, call me anytime. I'll make time for you." And so that touches your heart. Because like I say, hey, we ain't seen each other. We talk. A few times here and there, but you understand what I'm doing. I understand what you're doing. So that means we're connected. You understand?
Yep, yep, and I do really mean that.
I
It's no
appreciate it.
it's no bother anytime.
I
And
appreciate it.
yeah, so we'll stop. We'll end the interview here, and I really
Okay.
appreciate you being the first one in this series. Hopefully, other people get to see it and enjoy it and get some value out of it. So, thank you so much for your time.
Hey, thank you. Appreciate it. It's been a blast.